I'm Demita Jolyn, and you are plugged into Shekings. This podcast is created by Black women for Black women leaders, healers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to show up in a way that feels deeply authentic, connected, and as big and as powerful as you know you are. This podcast is for you if you want the tools and mindset to create a life and business free from self-consciousness, hustle culture, and old school conditioning that tells us success looks just one way. Let's usher in the new earth where embodying your you-ness is your birthright, and where Black women get to be powerful, seen, joyful, and free in everything we do. For the culture, for the ancestors. Let's get it.
She's so good.
Let's just keep it as it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it as it is.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shekings. You may notice that things are a little different, that Demita and I are together, and we're celebrating my birthday, 10 days, and we are in the sun, soaking it up, sending all of that love and heat to people in Colorado, because I think it's freezing.
I think it was snowing, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
29 degrees and snowing. How warm is it where you are, Erica?
I mean, send it here too. I'll make it easy.
That's all we need.
We also need it.
Right there.
Perfect. Well, today is exciting. Is an exciting topic. We're going to be talking about business and how everything that we've been talking about for the last few episodes is leading you up to how to see your business, like how to implement everything into your business. So it's funny because when we came here, I was like, all right, I have my list of things I need to get done in 10 days before I get back to the States. And I have not done one of those things. I still have a few more days to get them done.
Oh, we knock them out.
But that's the joy of having your own business, having that list that you need to knock out.
And then not. You don't have to. It's gonna check you, boo.
It will. One of my favorite things about having a business is, well, really anything in your world, but having a business is when you move towards your business, it moves towards you.
Yeah.
When you stop, it stops. When you're chilling at the sun, it chills at the sun on the beach. It's doing the exact same thing you are.
And I love that you chill at the sun. Like that's something different. That's something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, this is a burn. I chilled on the sun.
Yeah.
The
sun chilled on you.
That's better said.
Yes. I was literally, it felt so good. There's like this nice cool breeze. And Demita kept looking at me. She's like, you're burning. I'm just like, no, it feels really good.
That's the best, because you'll be thinking like, I am bliggity black. I do not burn. And it's like, yes, you do though. Get the right sun, you will burn.
Exactly. We ran across this other Black woman as well, and she had gotten burnt the day before, and she's like, I didn't know Black people burn. And we were like, yes, sister, we still got skin. We still got skin.
Well, the first time I burned, I was like, I was appalled. I was shocked. I was like, son, how could you do this? I was like calling my mom, like, run me down that lineage. Like, what's in here? Because this is not supposed to happen.
I thought we were people. I thought we had a relationship here. What's really going on?
Yeah. And then Demita, after our day in the sun, and I'm inside the whole next day because I'm just like, please don't let the sun touch me because it's itching and it's burning. She's literally right out here laying in the sun, just soaking it up. She has like the most amazing sunblock on.
That melanin is, that's what's up.
That's great. So back to business. This is another reason why I love having my own business is you can travel. You can travel, make sure everything's locked down at home, and then work your business. So for me personally, I've had my coaching business for, it's pushing. I've been doing it since I was in law enforcement. So 19 years. So doing energy work, all of that wonderful stuff for 19 years. And then I had the yoga studio. This will be my 6th year. And then of course, as always, I'm adding new stuff because I like to add new stuff in what I'm doing. And how long have you had yours business, Erica?
Yeah, I started coaching before I left corporate. And so that was in 2010, 2011. So yeah, I'm rolling up on, what is that, 12, 13 years. Wow. Wow. And I had a large swath of that more focused on yoga than coaching. And now it's switched, more focused on coaching, a lot more focused on coaching than yoga.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
What about you, Demita?
Yeah, so this is what I love about the three of us, is because I feel like there's such a range. But I've been, I would say, completely focused for maybe the last 3 years. So it's been really, really new for me. So I'm still, I think we're always evolving in our business, right? Like as we do in our lives, in our personal lives. And so I feel like I'm, moving through I've come to a threshold. And so I'm starting to really understand who I am inside of my business, finally. And it's been, like 3 years, I would say, probably 3 full years where I've been completely focused and dedicated to my business and not working, other jobs at the same time. So yeah, it's still, I mean, always learning, always learning. And it's just really beautiful to learn yourself inside of your business, right? And that's a lot of what we will be talking about, with our audience is I love what you were saying earlier, Erica, about the relationship that we create, right, with our business. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because you were saying some pretty profound things about that, and I think people need to hear that, what you were speaking to.
Yeah, I was reflecting on the fact that we want to talk about the essence of our business. And when we talk about even the way we set it up, it's like the business is something different, like something apart from us. And for some people, it'll make more sense to say it's just me. But or the way Allie was talking about it, when you do this, then your business does that. So you come towards it, it comes towards you. So this idea that it's like it's you and your essence, and then there's also the business itself as its own entity, or quote unquote person. And I found, especially for people who are either struggling with their business or wanting to up level or shift in their business, it really, really helps them to think about themselves being in relationship with their business. So as if it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to think about, well, how supportive is my business, or how supportive do I perceive my business is of me?
Mm-hmm.
And how supportive am I of it? What are the expectations like that I have for my business, and what are the expectations that my business has of me? And when you start to answer those questions, you may find, especially if you're struggling, that you don't think your business is supportive. And because you don't think your business is supportive, you treat it a certain type of way. You kind of hold it at a distance. You're very judgy. You're very needy with your business. Give me more. Where's the money? Where are the clients? Where's the and it's like, if this was an actual human being, how well do you think that would go over?
Mm-hmm.
How connected do you think you all would be? And then when you're up leveling, you start to move into a place where you've kind of looked at where your relationship is not working. You've healed those things, and you're both feeling very much seen by each other. And when you're up leveling, you start to ask questions like, how can we take this to a new level? There was another question that was coming up. You know, I can't find it, but like, what would it look like if we were more connected? What would it look like if we felt more supported by each other? And you start to create from that place.
Yeah. And that's like when people ask you what you do, feeling confident to share, this is my business. And so if you have that hesitation of sharing what you do because you're uncertain of it, you're embarrassed by it, you're afraid of what people are going to say, like, do you make money off of that? Or how do you make money off of that? It is like a huge reflection of how your business is going to share or show up for you too. Yeah. And it is. I love what you're saying about it being a person, because if you were with somebody and you don't want to introduce them, like, this is my partner or my husband or whatever, it's just like, but why? Like, why are you embarrassed? Like, what is that underlying resistance that you have? So it is the exact same thing. So when people start to create their business, or you have an idea, and I've learned this a few times because I've created a lot of businesses. I have so many domain names. They're amazing. They'll start to pop up that they're going to refresh, and I was like, oh, I remember that domain name. I don't want to refresh it because that was years ago. But it's kind of sit with it and see how you feel. Like, this is what I'm going to be sharing. Am I connected with it? Is it just like in the moment kind of thing? One beautiful thing that I love is to go deeper into your business, like to really start to understand it, instead of just like, oh, this is the idea, let's see where it goes, but really start to dig deeper to understand it and to connect with it in a different way. And that's been helping me out a lot because I like to create new things.
Yes.
What does that mean, to dig deeper?
To dig deeper. So, so if I were to introduce something, let's say about the spine, instead of just having like the surface information on spine movement and trauma, I would literally go deeper. Like, let me learn about the spine. Like, what is the spine made up of, right? What are all of the vertebrae? Like, what are the nerves that go through it? Like, really go deeper, even though I don't think in my mind that my students would take away from any of that. Like, they're just there to learn the movements. But for me, like, I'm going deep. Like, I'm going deep to learn more, and not just, these are 6 exercises that I know will help to open up your spine and then kick that out there, but instead to go deeper and to learn more about it.
So in other words, like we've talked about this, it's like you're not skimming the surface on many different things, right? Like, you're honing in on and focusing in on what you said, like 1 or 2 different things, right? Because as we know, we haven't talked about this yet, but being manifestor generators, like it's constant, like our minds are we're constantly imagining new things to do and explore in our businesses. And sometimes that will, we'll be scattered and we can't really hone in and use our strengths in the way that we can be like more effective and more efficient, right? And so I think that's a lot of, we've talked about that, is like, how do you just like focus on that one thing?
Are you a manifestor generator?
Yes. Do you know what
No,
you're?
I'm a generator, a pure generator.
Oh, you're a pure that's right, because you are very unique in this world, I believe, aren't you?
Oh, no. Pure generators, where I think that manifesting generators and generators together are 70%, and then they're half and half within the generator world.
Okay. I wanted to say, were you going to say something?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to step in. Do you see how the sun is shining on Demita?
Yes, she's like,
I'm all like, it's a glow.
I know. And then me, it's just like, nope, you complain
darkness.
you. I'm not going to shine on you, so I'm still in the shade.
Yeah, you got to create that relationship with the sun, baby. You got to love on it. There it is. You want to slide? You want to slide? It is. It's like, for those of you who are not watching but are only listening, I am at a glow in this moment in time. Allie's sitting in the dull light. But I wanted to say something about that relationship that you were speaking to, Erica. Like, when we think about when we're in relationship with someone, if we're talking about our business as a person, how often we become complacent, right? Like, we are in our relationships and we're like, this is all good and easy. Things are flowing fine. Like, we stay there. And so what would it look like to get curious? Like, Allie and I were talking about this last night. In fact, I was like, do you feel like, God.
Like, let's just
camera off,
block the mic. We need to step away for a moment.
Wait, I think our Wi-Fi is freezing. I think we're freezing.
We are breaking up.
Yep, keep going.
But I was asking, do you feel like you know enough about me, right? Because I think what happens in relationship, and the same with our business, is we stop becoming curious, right? We stop asking the questions. We stop looking at different perspectives, like how can we show up in this way, and how can we explore one another in this way? And so it's the same with our business, right? Like that's the beauty of having your own business, is that you can get really curious and like, okay, like speaking about the up leveling, how can I be better at this? What perspective can I approach this from? So that I can show up in a different and new way that is, more enlightened, more of my essence, right? And so I love that idea of looking at it as a relationship. And then on the other side of that, when we talk about relationship, often the question is how do we not become our business? And I feel like when we're talking about owning your own business, like a part of, we are our business if it is fully our purpose, right? Like I think of my business in anti-racism work and breath work and healing. It is me. It is of me. I walk it every single day, right? And so it is, I don't need to separate myself from it, nor do I want to, because it is of my essence. And so that's something I think we would be a really good conversation, is because that is something that is often asked, is how do I separate myself from it? But when you're walking your purpose and you're doing your business is you don't need to separate from it. And that's the beauty of it, right? That's where we want to be. And so I would love to think about that.
I love what you're saying. How, when I'm working with business owners, I'm constantly talking to them about getting paid to be yourself. And so there's this aspect of it where you say the business is you, but then when that question comes and people are saying, well, how do I separate myself from it? It brings up like you want to, I'm getting under it. And I'm like, what are you really asking when you're saying, how do I separate myself from my business? Like, are you doing the most? Are you doing that thing that we do where we go so hard, action, 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 that we don't break and rest and balance and, boundaries? And because just because the, love of my life is my whole everything, it doesn't mean that this human can have everything. You can't have all my time. Like there has to be something that's sacred, something that's mine. So it's, yeah. Because I mean, with my husband, he said something the other day, like we're about to have couples counseling, but he said something the other day, it really hurt my feelings. He said, oh, Asha, our daughter, is my blood. And I was like, we are one. We are one. Like, what do you mean? Like she gets preference because she's your blood. We are one thing, sir. When we got married, okay, we became a single unit. So I'm not just your blood, okay? Like I am all of you. I'm your bones, I'm your skin, I am everything. Mustang. A little bow. So after I had that meltdown, it's like, yes, the business can be your everything, but have you taken it too far? Have you not set proper boundaries? Are you not honoring yourself because you're trying to win out here in these streets? Are you not honoring yourself because you're trying to win and you don't feel like you're winning, and so you're slipping into a depression? Are you not honoring yourself so when somebody says like, how do I separate myself? Then I'm wondering why they ask that question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I like like how you show up and you just express, this is what I'm doing. And you trust that everything that's supposed to unfold is going to unfold. And so then it isn't that you're pushing to make something happen, or you're pushing to make something show up, or you're not pushing to make this amount of money. You're just allowing it to flow through you. And then you're trusting that the right people, the right circumstances, the right locations, the right amount of money, like everything will start to show up. And that's what we were talking about, energy. like what energy is and how we use it. This is a desire that was gifted to me from source.
Yeah.
And my business is already here. Like if you're starting your own business or if you're building it up, like your business is already here in its full capacity. You're just experiencing different pieces of it, and you'll eventually get to that place, and then you're at that place, but then there's more. Like there's always more. And so it's just the journey of like realizing who you are and the connection that you have with other people, and what are you doing to heal through maybe low self-worth or other trapped emotions that are in your body that your business will help to bring up. So it's just like a relationship, because relationships are needed for you to heal those emotions out of your body. Your business will do the exact same thing. And so the big word starting your own business and being in it is trust. Like you must trust that everything is going to unfold how it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And it will show you who you really are. That's what's up. It's I love what you're speaking to, Ali, because it's also, when we're talking about that trust, it's also like the gratitude, right? Like we want to run away from the things that we're being challenged by. And so what we understand and know, and what we practice and spoken about, is when we're feeling that discomfort in a relationship, in our business, to lean into it, right? To trust that it's there for you to expand, to grow. And what is it that, like, and that's where the curiosity comes in as well. And so having that gratitude for, one, the opportunity to have the time and energy and the space to actually lean into those uncomfortable places, and to really get to know who you are, how you're showing up in those challenges, and how you're showing up for your business. And I think that's so important, like for us to have gratitude moment by moment by moment, right? Because we often talk about the things that we desire, like the things that we want. We talk about the money. We want to make all this money. We want to do all these things. We want to travel.
We want to live here.
We want to live in Todos Santos, all of the things, and thinking about the steps that it takes to get there, and having the gratitude for it, right? Like for the work. And it's how, the way that I look at it is, it's an opportunity for me to see who I truly am in every moment, right? And that in and of itself is worthy of the deepest gratitude. So I think, I want to make sure we don't skip over that and people don't miss that part.
Yeah.
I think like combining what the two of you are saying, what's coming up for me, my business, what all three of us are, my business has been asking a lot of me lately, like very much, like I need you to put this out there, put that out there. And a lot of it is really like pushing my edges, is like moving my edges like across the world. Just like, nope, go do this now, go do that now. And so much gratitude that I'm in relationship with someone who trusts me in this way and like thinks I'm amazing. Like, well, you must think I'm great because what do you want from me? But so all of this gratitude, but at the same time, my edges are being pushed. And at the same time, trapped emotions are coming up. So thinking about what Ali was just saying and what we've been talking about today, this last few days, I have been doing my soul's work as called out of me by my business, and clearing so much trapped energy, like literally like screaming, like, ah, like, but working. I was there was a show back in the day, and these like two women designers were creating like a dress or something like that, and one of the women started crying, and the other woman was like, you cry if you need to, but cry and sew, like you cry and get this work done. It was just like, she was like, girl, I can't with you, cry and do this work. And that's been me like this last few weeks, like, ah, and I'm still typing. I'm like, you want me to say what? Okay. I mean, I agree, but like, why do we have to say it like this? It's just, and so I just appreciated just listening to all three of us and thinking about what we've been talking about in this like last few weeks has been the intersection of gratitude, the trapped emotions, the being already there. Because my business is like, oh, you're already there. It's done. And I'm like, okay, let me get these strapped emotions together because I don't feel super confident about it. But
Well,
okay.
I would love to speak to, I don't want to be so esoteric. Like, I think people may or may not know what we mean about, what do we mean about that when you're there? Like, we're already there. When we're talking about we're already there with our business, what does that mean? Because some people are like, no, I'm not. That's why I'm listening to your ass. Like, I'm not there. So what do you mean? What are you talking about?
One of my teachers told this story. I'll change it up a little bit because I don't want to take his shine, but I'll use me and Allie. Me and Allie are we are in Denver, and Allie's like, Erica, I really want to be in India. And I'm like, Allie, you're already in India. You're there. Go, take it and go. And Allie's like, well, I'm trying to get this money together, and like I just don't see how I'm going to get to India. I'm like, well, why are you talking about getting to India, Allie? You're already in India, Allie. Every night when you go to bed, I want you to go to bed in India, Allie. Get into it. And Allie's like, okay, sure, I'll go to bed. I'll go to bed in India. And so, she's going to bed in India every night. But she comes back to me and she's like, Erica, like, I'm just not really seeing it because I just don't have. Okay, but if you were already there, Allie, if you were already in India, we wouldn't really be having this conversation. You're already there. And when Allie shifts to really owning, like, this is done, there's no question. I am there. I am arrived. In this situation that was given, the person, the family was like ended up sending a ticket to Allie, like, you know what, we haven't seen you in a while, so we just arranged everything, let's get you over there. And like, it's this idea that all of this action that we are constantly trying to do, the only real work when it comes to living the life you desire, stepping into already being in India, is the work to stay in what Allie was saying, in trust and faith. And the work is for the universe. And so as you work with your own vibrational field, and you like, it's already done. And I think that's what my business is doing for me in this relationship right now. In many ways, my husband has done this for me and brought me a very long way. My business just holds me into place. My business, like, oh, you're already sitting on the couch in front of the people, talking the talk of the things that you want to talk about. And so it's really, and like, for me, as my teacher was using that example, I thought about when I was in law school, I wanted to be like a top lawyer, and I wanted to go to galas and wear these like dresses. And it was true. Like, there was no question. It was like, this is already true. That clears so much out of your mind when it's already done. And then you're already living it. And so it's already fun.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I think that's when I say you're already there. And I know, I mean, I took this question because I just said it, but this is like Allie's world, and she's taught me so much about this.
Absolutely. No, I like that one. It was funny because last year we were in Belize, and I was there for 14 days, and Demita was there for 21 days. And I was talking to Audrey, and I always told Audrey, I was just like, I want to be in a place in my business that I can travel and work.
Yes.
And so I was talking to her. She was helping out with the studio. I was gone. And she goes, I want you to pause. And she goes, I want you to realize that you're in Belize working. And this is what you said that you always wanted.
Yeah.
And so it's like I was already there. I was already doing what I wanted to do, but I was still focusing on, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to build up the studio, open up another second location so I can travel and work, but I'm already there. And so when we say that it's already there, the universe doesn't care about the physical situation. Yeah. It only matches your emotion. So if you feel plugged in, if you feel abundant, if you feel connected to the universe, you're already there. You are already in the feeling of what your business is. that you are so successful, that you are making so much money, that you are connecting with the right type of people, because that's the frequencies that it's matching. It doesn't care if it's 3 people. It doesn't care if it's you're working out of your living room, but it's just the feeling that you feel. So when we say that you're already there, it's all based on feelings. And so when you start to feel it, you'll end up in Belize. When you start to feel it, you'll end up in Todos Santos. When you start to feel it, you'll have that number that you bring, like, nope, that's my number, because everything matches feelings. And so the essence of your business is your feelings.
Yes.
So when you get frustrated and irritated, right? You're here, your business is there. You're frustrated, irritated. Your business is frustrated and irritated.
Yeah.
When you're grateful and so open to receive, then your business is the same way, right? And so everything is just matching you. So when we talk about the essence of your business and you, it is like, how are you feeling? How are you showing up? What blockages do you have? What's trapping you? Because that's what's going to be reflected back at you.
I love that. We almost need to pause on that one, right? Like to feel into that, what that feels like to hear that, because really at the end of the day, it is what we're saying is to shift our mindset. And often and to do it like right now, right? Like there's a piece, it's like, well, I'll do it when this happens. I'll do it when this happens. It's like, no, right now, change your mind right now. Your bills aren't paid, change your mind right now. Your bills are paid, right? And so it's that what I think people have a hard time. And I think Black people specifically have a hard time changing their minds around that, believing like, no, I'm going to feel into this right now, because it's not there, but it actually is. And so that's what we're saying, like, change your mind right now. You are there right now.
It might even be easier to say, change your focus right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
Because like the mind is going to do what it wants to do,
Yes.
right? The mind is like matching frequency. But if you change your focus, because Allie, she just needed to focus on what is as opposed to what is absent. And so, yeah, that like change your focus and like notice where you are abundant and notice where things are flowing and notice, or just notice that you're already in India. Like just notice what you desire as present. And then it is coming. And every part of you that is not on board with that, and this is the beauty of having your own business, it's going to come up and be like, I am not on board with this. These are the trapped emotions, right? This is very scary for me. And this is what I can be in it. My business can be holding the space for me.
Yes.
My soul can be holding that same space, but there are parts of me that are like, no, and that's okay. This is the healing.
I've been listening to You're a Badass at Making Money, which is such a good book. Like I like her, the author. But she was talking about Jim Carrey and how Jim Carrey, like he wanted to be a comedian and he didn't make any money, but he wrote that check, right?
Yeah.
For how much was it?
Was it $1 million or was it?
No, I thought it was more than $1 million, but it could be $1 million.
Yeah.
But I mean, his family they were homeless. They lived in a van. They drove to California. He tried little jobs. And then he finally signed up for Dumb and Dumber. And then they wrote him that check. But he had the check in his wallet and he's just like, nope, I'm already there. Like I already have that money coming to me. Like he was homeless. And there's other stories like Perry. What's his name? Tyler Perry.
Yeah,
like he was homeless too, but he was just like, nope, this is who I am. I make movies. So it is that belief in yourself. That's the essence, is your belief. How do you see yourself? Because that again reflects your business and what aligns up with you, that person to write you that check.
Absolutely.
When you're sure, I think about that and definitely for you, Allie, because you have a yoga studio, but I think about that with yoga. When I was first starting to teach yoga, when I first opened my spaces, you got nobody in class, you got one person in class, you got 2 people in class, and so few people are able to focus on and hold the existence of all that's there, right? Like all the people who are just that the universe is rearranging to get them to what you can see. And so they don't follow through. Like they don't, the number of yoga teachers that I've coached or I've taught, I'm like, listen, you got to hold the energy.
Yes.
When you see these two people, you have to know that you multiply by 10, multiply it by 100. It's on the way. And I think that now for me as a coach, it's really interesting because it's like having to do that in a less physical way. I'm not in a space where it's like you build it, they will come. It's like I'm building something that like you can't. A lot of what I do is virtual. Like you might never see the 100 people like right in front of you, but it's that constant, when you only got 1 or 2 likes.
Yeah.
When you only got, 25 listens, when you only like, who wins? The people who stay in it. When there's no reason to believe that you're going to get that $1 million check or you're going to have these like completely booked out classes.
Yeah. That's that word, consistency. That's our favorite word. Consistency. We were talking about that. So when we get back home, we're going to be consistent and this, and this, because you have to build up that energy.
Absolutely.
But you were going to say something earlier.
Well, I was going to speak to just for a moment as a new, entrepreneur. I like what I've learned, like in this last couple months, especially, is that when we show up for ourselves and when we show up in our business, things start to show up. Things have been coming out of the woodworks. People are reaching out and saying, hey, can you do this breath work workshop? Can you speak for this conference, which I've never done? And I know, like, I have put myself out there. I've opened myself up, and it's what we've been talking about, how we, trust in the universe. We trust. We don't know what it's going to look like. We know what it feels like. And we have to trust that however it shows up, we have to know how we feel in it. And then is that a fuck yes? Or is that a like hell nah, right? Like, so it's knowing the difference. And I have been invited into these spaces and I'm like, what the hell am I doing, right? Like, I've never done a conference before for 4 hours, a workshop, right? Anti-racism work, breath work, healing, all of the things that are involved inside of that as I do it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you. And thank you. And so, but I've been saying, fuck yes. I've been saying yes, because this is what I asked for. I didn't know how it was going to look. Right. But I asked, like, please show me my path in a clear way. And so as a new entrepreneur, stepping into those spaces and allowing yourself to be in those spaces, right? To open yourself up, to be able to receive those opportunities is vital. And so all of the things that we talk about, like the consistency, the trust, the patience, the gratitude, right? The curiosity are so vital as you're stepping into your business. And as the two of you can speak to, as you are in your business for as many years as you've been in your businesses, right? Like it's still the same thing. You still need those things to be in practice. And the things that you spoke to just a bit, Erica, and I know that we'll touch in more on this because it's important, especially as Black women, that we honor ourselves with these two things, is that the rest and creating those boundaries, right? And so when we talk about being successful in our businesses or being a part of our businesses, having that relationship, we have to rest. We have to have those healthy boundaries. And I know we'll get deeper into those on another episode, but yeah, I just wanted to mention those briefly. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
I like that.
For sure.
That's good. That's good.
And so then.
All right. Okay. So what the homework? I think the homework should be
Gratitude. What were you going to say?
Well, what business do you want to start? Right. And why do you want to start it? Right. Because if the essence isn't connected to you, then it's going to be hard to have that confidence that we were talking about. Right. This is my business and this is what I'm sharing. And I love it. Right. There's a passion inside of me that I'm sharing it. So what is a business that you want to start and why do you want to start it? And if you already have a business, like what is your relationship with your business?
Yes.
And really get clear on those things. Like, are you moving towards it? Are you trusting? How's your focus? And then how is that reflected back to you? Because I promise you, if you already have a business and you start to shift those two things, your focus and trust, your business will start to look different. And give yourself like 2 weeks. It doesn't take that much time because it's just frequency shifts. And then just see how things are shifting. Oh, the sun's kissing me now.
Isn't that beautiful?
So I think those would be, that would be helpful homework.
And I just want to add within that, because again, it's important that we have gratitude every single day for every single thing, is to write down at least 3 things that you're grateful for inside of your business or in your life, period, right? Like, what things do you notice that you can be grateful for in the moment? It could be so simple, but just start to notice, like building that practice, right? Of seeing what you already have and being grateful for those things. And so we go.
That sounds awesome. Awesome, ladies. I'm going to look at my relationship with my business because I feel like there's some space for that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that on our live next week. Let's talk about how we answered our homework.
I love that.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I like that one.
Cool.
Well, if you haven't listened to our last episodes, please do. And of course, our Instagram, we have things posted, part of our podcast or on our Instagram. So check those out, and always give us a 5-star like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there?
And do share it with your friends. And then reach out if you have any questions. You can find us all on Instagram. We tag ourselves under Shekings. You can always find us and send us questions there too. So we will see you next week for our live, and happy growing your business.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes.